I've laid the East Shoreline Road and seawall as well as the small roads that head up into the hills above the eastern shore. When you're laying roads, if you don't pay close attention, it's very easy to place them, particularly along a shoreline, way too high relative to the water. We want our road around 1.5 to 2 meters above the water line. When your mind thinks in feet and inches and you're working in meters, it's very easy to forget that 2 meters is over 6 feet. It's very easy to get sloppy with your work in this game because your vantage point when working is like you're 1,000 feet up. So check your elevations constantly when you place roads so close to the water's elevation. When you do that, they will flood at times when you first load the game. But this flooding will, as long as your road's above the water level, the water will dissipate and run off. Planting trees in the overlooks requires several mods. You'll need prop and tree anarchy, prop snapping, and if you're using unlimited trees, you'll need to use the unlimited trees reboot mod so that it's compatible with the prop. You'll also need the no radioactive desert or hide it mods to prevent your trees from dying when placed on an object like this out over the water. The game will see the trees as being in water and they'll start to wither and die. And of course you'll need Move It. It's a bit tricky placing trees on objects such as this. They will often drop down or out of sight. Move It page up key will raise them back up. And don't immediately assume the page up key and Move It's not working. Hold down and press it, and you might have to press it for a few moments before the object actually comes back up into sight. When placing trees, I always use the Forest Brush mod. It's fabulous. Makes selection of trees much more straightforward and easier. I generally make a few test patches to get the mix I want. Use a wide variety of trees and plants that are representative of the area you're modeling. I use a lot of trees because my goal is to make the map look as realistic as I can. I figure if somebody doesn't want that many trees on their map, they can always go in and delete what they don't want. When making maps, you really can't tell exactly what you have made and how things are working until you get right down on the deck. Things can look entirely different from 2,000 or 3,000 feet up than they look when you're right down on the ground. So get a mod that allows you to get right down on the surface and tour your map. Take a look at what's going on. You'll find lots of errors, and the hills and elevations and roads can look entirely different when you're right down on them than they do when viewed from above. My goal when making maps is to try and create an environment that's visually compelling and invites the user into that environment to immerse themselves in this virtual landscape. So the rest of this video is largely a tour of the roads that I've laid down and the terrain and the environment that I'm trying to create. So enjoy the tour of the roads up in the hills, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.